tonight, Yudhirvis Solarte back in the lineup, and why not? Last season against the Cardinals was 6 for 16, 2 doubles with a solo home run here in St. Louis. And on the other side for the Cardinals, the former Padre, Jed Jerko, 2016 against his old team, hit at .560, 6 homers and 11 runs batted in, really taking it to the fryer last year. Make no mistake, we are in St. Louis for Game 1 of a 3-game series between the San Diego Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, tonight the Padres take on a Cardinals team that is pretty good this season. Tonight we'll see Clayton Richard on the hill for the Padres, coming off his best outing of the year.
Yeah, the Cardinals are in the wild card, sort of, in the NL Central, sort of, so they're going to try to win every game from here on out, and it's up to Clayton Richard to do exactly what he did against the Philadelphia Phillies. Talk about the ground ball specialist. 9 innings, no runs. He struck out 6. Look how many ground outs. 19. What's that tell you? The breaking ball was working, the sinker was working, he was cutting the fastball too, and there's a reason why he has the 60% rate, second most in Major League Baseball. The infielders are busy, and if you keep the ball in the ballpark, in this ballpark at St. Louis, we're going to see some smiles from Clayton Richard and the rest of the Padres.
Padres have a tall task tonight. They go up against Lance Lynn. He's been very good, especially since the beginning of July.
I don't think that the fastball is Lance Lynn's middle name, but I tell you what, he throws a lot of them when he's out there on the hill. He's almost like Bartolo Colon. He relies on that pitch quite a bit. Last 8, 4-0, nice ERA. He'll keep it down in the zone, work some ground balls. Also, the strikeout is there, but one thing's for sure, it's just not a fastball, Don. It's the cut fastball. It's the 2-seam fastball. It's the 4-seam fastball. So essentially, it's 3 different pitches for Lance Lynn, but he has been really, really tough lately.
It is the Padres and Cardinals from St. Louis. Game 1 coming up, but first, when we return, Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney will check in from the studio, hoping the Bats come alive. We'll find out who picked the stick coming up next. It's Padres baseball, brought to you by Evans Tire and Service Centers, home of the buy to, get to. By Petco, where the pets go. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by Jack in the Box. Come try Jack's new 9-hour slow-cooked brisket burger. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time at participating restaurants. Padres at Cardinals from St. Louis. But before we get it started, let's send it down to field level and Bob Scanlon.
Well, thank you, Don. Obviously, one of the big stories coming into this ball game is Clayton Richard coming off his first shutout since 2012. He's been throwing the ball outstanding in his last 3 outings, and one of the things he's been able to do so well is to control the right-hand batters. Here's what Andy Green had to say about his lefty controlling the righties.
Getting back to what he does well, sinking the baseball, and when he needs to, doing something a little bit different, coming in, coming up, locating different spots, mixing the changeup and the slider. But sink is his bread and butter. Hopefully in the humidity here, it sinks for him.
It's a simple formula. Obviously, Clayton Richard depends on that sinker a lot, but he's also been using the slider very effectively lately against the right-handers as well. There'll be 7 righties in this lineup tonight that he's facing. The good news, he's held righties to a 174 batting average over his last 3 starts. Padres will try to reverse the course. Yeah, they've had some troubles against the Cardinals of late. They haven't won here since 2015. Tonight, Jolis Chacin will try to turn that around. Padres, Cardinals, first pitch coming up next right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Lewis, it's time now for the weather report, brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. 80 degrees as we get it started here tonight. Northwest breeze at 11 miles per hour, and the forecast for partly cloudy, although lots of sunshine and blue skies above as we get started here tonight in St. Louis. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, Bob Scanlon with you for game 1 of this 3-game series from Busch Stadium. Let's check out Andy Green's starting 9 tonight for the Padres, brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Manuel Margot leading it off and in center field with Carlos Azuaje at second base. Jose Perez in right field batting third with Yangervis Solarte at third. Will Myers at first base with Corey Spangenberg moving to the outfield again. He'll play in left and bat sixth. Austin Hedges does the catching with Dusty Coleman at shortstop and Clayton Richard batting out of the 9th spot and doing the pitching. Lance Lynn on the mound tonight for the Cardinals.
This guy's a horse, probably their best starter as the Cardinals are concerned right now. Fastball heavy. He's got the 2 and 4-seamer, the cutter, off speed for show. Like his last outing, his 4-seam fastball, he threw it 41 times. His 2-seamer 51 times. Very few off-speed pitches from Lance Lynn. You're going to get the heater.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
One of them is about the guy we just talked about. Knock Lynn off his perch. And repeat Richard. The great performance that left-hander Clayton Richard twirled against the Philadelphia Phillies. Complete game shutout. Some timely hitting tonight off of Lance Lynn. And, you know, one of the things down about this Cardinal team has been the bullpen. Rosenthal probably out for the year. O has been closing, but it's kind of a flip of a coin who's going to close. So if the Padres can get to that bullpen and give Mike Matheny some fits to try to who to go with, figure it out, hopefully that happens.
Well, Manuel Margot about to lead it off here in the top of the first inning. As Margot getting the start in center field tonight for the Padres and leading off, toting a .265 average, 12 homers and 30 runs batted in. Into his 91st game of the year. First and only visit of the year for the Padres here to St. Louis. Then ready to work, and the first pitch of the ball game. Swung on and missed for strike one, and we're underway. Now, very good conditions here. The Padres have been very fortunate. Everywhere they've been this year, the humidity has not been bad. This time of year, you can expect some very humid temperatures, but not bad.
Very, very pleasant. You're absolutely right.
Lance Lynn has been terrific since the beginning of July. Not lost in his last 8 decisions, 10-6 on the year. And Margot lifts it to right field over his Biscotti towards the line for out number 1 of the night. Margot retired. Check out the Cardinals defensively, left to right in the outfield. Tommy Pham, Dexter Fowler, and Stephen Piscotty, who just made the catch in right. Jed Jerko at third. Paul DeYoung at shortstop with Colton Wong at second. Matt Carpenter at first, and Yadier Molina does the catching for Lance Lynn. One down here in the first, and it brings up Carlos Eswaje. Great Yadier Molina in behind the dish tonight for the Cardinals.
You know, when you talk about scouting reports and teams done, you talk about position players, you talk about outfield arms, accuracy, what you can do. But I tell you what, one of the first things I think out of the mouths of the coaching staff is when you're on base, after your secondary lead, you better get back if you don't have intention of going, because he will throw behind you. We've seen it many, many times. Molina will just sneak throw behind you, and next thing you know, you're back to the dugout.
Throw to any base at any time.
Yep.
And Green's certainly aware of that, as Mark McGwire to his right, who had such a tremendous career, part of his career spent here in St. Louis, and fans always kind to Big Mac when he comes back to town. Talk about Hall of Fame Cardinals. On the ground right side as Wong drifts to the outfield grass. His throw is off the mark, backed up by the catcher Molina, and reaching at first is Eswaje. Well, it looked like Wong was going to make a tremendous play and had set himself up a stride or two on the outfield grass, but his throw just sailed on first baseman Matt Carpenter.
You know, after looking at it, he may have rushed it just a little bit. I know he's got a turn. Maybe he didn't set his feet. He was still going over towards the first base line, works underneath and airmails it. A good throw definitely gets him.
They rule it a hit, and Eswaje aboard at first base with a 1-out infield single, and it'll bring up Jose Perella. Batting out of the 3 spot at .295 coming into tonight's action. And a little tardy on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball. 8 homers, 30 runs batted in to go along with the .295 for Perella. Sits safely in 10 of his last 13 games and hitting at .354 in his last 13. Padres had yesterday off. Traveled here on Sunday after the finale of the series with the Washington Nationals. And began a road trip that'll take him here to St. Louis for 3. Then on to Miami for 3. So the Cardinals and Marlins on this trip. To right field, Piscotty again on the move towards the line, makes the catch for out number 2 of the first inning. So Pirela taking it the other way to right field, but he is out number 2, and Suaje back to the bag at first. Brings up Yangervis Solarte. 265, 13 homers, and 47 runs driven in. Outfield straight away on Solarte. Power to all fields and close to the plate from the left side as he takes strike 1. The opponent's only hitting at .215 against Lance Lynn. Big right-hander checks in at 6'5", 270 pounds. Solarte carves it foul off to the left, and it's 0-2.
Definitely their most reliable arm right now, Lance Lynn. And since the All-Star breakdown, pretty good numbers. We just saw Gio Gonzalez in San Diego.
Yeah, that's a tall task here. Padres face Gio on Sunday. They get Lance here on Tuesday, game 1 of this series. Back-to-back very good starters. It'll run outside for ball 1.
Remember I mentioned heavy on the fastball from Lance Lynn? His last outing, he threw 110 pitches total. He threw 92 fastballs, 51 two-seamers, 41 four-seamers. And he can do so many things with that.
Solarte, the left fam coming in and over, will get there to make the catch to end the inning. Padres leave a base runner. Cardinals are coming up from St. Louis. The first inning. Check out Mike Matheny's starting 9. The Cardinals lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Matt Carpenter leading it off with Tommy Pham in left field. It is Paul DeYoung at shortstop with Dexter Fowler in center. Yadier Molina does the catching with Jed Jerko at third base. Stephen Piscotty's in right. Colton Wong bats out of the 8 spot, plays at second base with Lance Lynn, the pitchers. Now a switch hitter batting out of the 9 spot for the Cardinals. On the mound for the Padres, fresh off his complete game shutout, is Clayton Richard.
Making his 26th start, the 33-year-old had a gem last time out. Hopefully a repeat performance. I mean, going 9 would be outstanding, but if you can go 7 plus, and as Bob Scanlon mentioned, let's see if he throws a lot of sliders more against the right-handed hitters. He's done that the last 3 starts. He had good results.
Carpenter fouling it off down by the shoe tops, down 0-2. 246, 16 homers, and 60 runs batted in for Matt Carpenter. His 118th game of the year. He's been an everyday guy for the Cardinals.
Boy, if the Cardinals ever needed a good outing from one of their pitchers, it's Lance Lynn tonight, because they've lost 5 of their last 7 games. Had an 8-game winning streak, and during that time a 7.2 ERA. So Mike Matheny is hoping Lynn can right the ship for these Redbirds.
Yeah, Carpenter, a guy who takes a lot of pitches, very patient hitter. Down 0-2. It's now 2-2. He is the Cardinals leader in walks with 83, and second in the National League in that category. He's had 80+ walks the last 4 years in a row, but he strikes out this time. Clayton Richard strikes out Matt Carpenter here in the bottom of the first inning.
How about Clayton Richard breaking out the combio early? Lefty on lefty. The changeup. Is that a changeup? Oh, you know what? I saw the knuckle up on the. I take that back. That was a breaking ball. 82. At first, it looked like because of the swing of Carpenter, who's way out in front, had a changeup swing to it.
And one down for Tommy Pham. .307, 16 homers, 52 runs batted in for Pham. He'll take the strike to even the count at 1-1. Pham 3 for his last 12. That was in the Pirates series. Got called up on May the 5th and has been playing on a regular basis. Right now 4th in the National League in runs since his recall. Line down the right field line, foul into the seats. Well, defensively tonight for the Padres. Brought to you by your Lincoln Motor Company. Spangenberg in left, Margot in center, Perella around in right. Third to first, Solarte, Coleman, Asuaje, and Myers, with Hedges doing the catching. A grounder up the middle, Coleman from short will throw out Tommy Pham. 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's check in with Bob Scanlon.
Hey, Don, one of the things that Clayton Richard has been doing so well of late is he's made a slight adjustment in his delivery. Watch the leg kick right now. He's lifted it up just a little bit higher. He mentioned after his last outing about his timing. He's raising the leg just a little bit higher in his last 3 outings. It's allowed him to reach out more consistently with that arm. The result, of course, ball down in the zone, getting those sinkers and those ground balls that he likes. It's just a small tweak, but something that Darren Balsley specializes in, guys.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Well, it's worked out very well for him in the last couple of outings. Been very good. And the complete game shutout in his last outing. It's amazing how something so small can really go a long way.
And when Clayton Richard was a Padre before, this time around, it was totally different. He was so quick on his front side.
Sounded like a broken bat. Grounder to third, and Solarte's throw in time. Richard enjoys a 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning, done with 1 without a score from St. Louis. it'll be Will Myers, Corey Spangenberg, and Austin Hedges anticipated here for the Padres. Had a base runner in Carlos Suaje in the first inning, who had an infield hit but did not advance. Relatively easy inning for Lance Lynn, who threw a total of 14 pitches in the first inning, and there is Will Myers to lead it off. They'll spray it foul off to the right out of play for strike one. Myers at .237, 24 home runs, 59 runs batted in. 0 for 4 in the game on Sunday in a quiet series against the Nationals. Went 2 for 13 in the series. Wasn't alone in that category, as the Nationals took 3 out of 4 from the Padres in the 4-game series. Fouled off to the right, 1-2.
You know what's frustrating about that series, Don? You know, we saw that one game 7-1 over San Diego, but all the other 3, I mean, it could have swung either way. A pitch here, a pitch there.
Andy Green was frustrated by the series because you're right, they were so close.
Yep.
Against a very good Nationals team, even though they have several injuries. Still a very formidable foe.
Yeah, how about that? They're not even at full strength, and they're doing what they are doing. Hopefully to get everybody ready in the month of September and ready for the playoffs.
Nationals with a 14-game lead atop the National League East. Myers fouls this one off himself, and it hangs at 2-2. Closed captioning is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel.
You know, looking at the sequence of pitches from Lance Lynn here, that was a fastball in. It's almost as if the 2 prior pitches were breaking ball sliders, just kind of showing Will Myers. Now 2-2, he tried to go inside, he fouled it off. Now we can go to either side of the plate.
Runs the fastball in at 93 miles an hour.
It's a beautiful thing as a pitcher if you can throw the 2-seamer effectively. If you can throw the 4-seamer up in the zone effectively and then cut it. Looks like Yachty wants a slider. Fastball away. How about a sinker in?
Myers cleans it out, fouls it off just above the Padres dugout third base way. Padres housed on the third base side, where Clayton Richard has just enjoyed a quick and easy 1-2-3 first inning. Strikeout, 2 groundouts. Myers having a good AB. Fouls a 94-mile-an-hour fastball back.
I'll tell you what, if there's anybody thinking they're lucky stars that tonight's conditions the way they are, it's the starting pitchers. I mean, we know that it could be just a total lather here in St. Louis out on that hill. I mean, it'll wear you down.
Off the end of the bat, foul to the right out of play. Good battle here for Will Myers to begin things in the second inning. This will be the 10th pitch of the at bat coming up here to Myers. And it's grounded back to Lynn. Makes the nice play and flips to first base for out number 1. Right back where it came from. And Lance Lynn able to make the stab and flips to first. A 10-pitch at bat, but Myers retired.
Lance Lynn, a pretty big kid, but this ball is the one hopper. He fields his position pretty well. Doesn't fall off to the side. His momentum was going towards the first base side. And that's exactly where that ball was hit. That's a big kid right there.
One down here in the second inning brings up Corey Spangenberg. Spangenberg at .275 coming into tonight's action. 12 homers, 43 runs batted in. Takes the strike, just picking up that outside corner. 2 tough pitches so far here from Lance Lynn, and Spangenberg down 0-2. He also had a quiet series against the Nationals, 2 for 13 and 0 for 4 on Sunday. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out for out number 2. First strikeout of the night for Lance Lynn. 2 down in the inning.
Remember when I mentioned about the variances of fastballs, the cutter, the 2-seamer? How about the 4-seamer up and away at 93? Throwing to down and in, down and away, up and away.
2 down, 4 in a row. Retired here by Lance Lynn. Brings up Austin Hedges. .216 average for Hedges coming in. 15 homers, 46 runs batted in. His 92nd game caught on the year. His 15 home runs are 3rd most in the National League among catchers. 6th most among Major League catchers. Line to left center and in for a base hit. Over his Tommy Pham to play, and a 2-out single for Austin Hedges. Second Padres hit of the night. Both have been singles off Lance Lynn.
He wants it inside. That's exactly where Yadi Molina is. Off the plate a little bit. How quick is his hands? Gets it through nicely. Deposits it over the shortstop's head. Like to see some 2-out thunder right here. Bottom of the order. See if Dusty Coleman can split a gap.
2 down. Hedges at first, and Coleman will swing at that first pitch. Fouled it off to the right, out of play. 259, 4 homers, 9 runs batted in for Dusty. He was 2 for 10 on the homestand and getting a start at shortstop tonight in game 1 of the series. Roster move for the Padres prior to the game. Matt Caesar reinstated from the family leave list. And to make room, the Padres option left-handed reliever Kyle McGrath back to AAA El Paso. Away for ball 2. Start number 26 of the year for Lance Lynn. Double figures in wins, 10 and 6 with a 3.05 earned run average. Swinging a foul tip. That'll leave in the count at 2-2. And Matt Caesar back with the club.
Yeah, late game pinch hit defense for Andy Green. Familiar with the NL Central with his time with the Cubs. So he's very familiar with Busch Stadium.
Full count now with 2 outs and Austin Hedges at first base. Runner goes, pitch swung on, fly ball headed out towards right center field, but Piscotty comes from right and makes the catch shy of the track. That ends the inning. Padres leave a base runner. Inning and a half done, no score. trucks.
We're going to talk about Clayton Richard. Remember last outing, 19 grounds outs. Well, why does he do that? How come? Well, it's down in the zone. Down, down, and down. When he misses, it's down by the tops of the ankles consistently with the slider and the fastball. But don't forget, he'll go up out of the zone as well for the swing and miss. And for a guy who doesn't press, and I think, talking to Clayton over the course of the year, he's the type of guy where he has found, I cannot overthrow. If I overthrow, that's when I run into trouble. And Don, lowest ERA in August. Look who's top of the list.
1.29 ERA for Clayton Richard. Minimum of 20 innings pitched. And the lefty dealing with a pitch that's fouled off down the right field line by Dexter Fowler, leading it off here for the Cardinals. 262, 15 homers, and 49 runs batted in for Fowler.
He's been swinging the bat well since coming off the DL.
Yeah, 9 games, a .433 batting average. Fouls this one off and is down 0-2. Walks a lot too. Second on the team in walks with 52. That's behind the 88 by Matt Carpenter. A right heel spur kept him out for 12 games. Didn't like that. He takes strike 3, and that's the second strikeout for Clayton Richard. One down here in the second.
Remember I mentioned down, 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 but then he'll go up in the zone. Great frame job by Austin Hedges. Fastball. That's a legit strike.
So one out here in the second inning, and Yadier Molina will pop it up foul, back it out of play. And coming off a game on Sunday, which he was 3 for 4. So that's 1,704 hits. Tied with Ted Simmons for 11th on the St. Louis hit list all time for the Cardinals, and that's in their first strike.
Simba.
Yeah.
Ted Simmons, in my honest opinion, this man's opinion, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Look at his numbers. Do yourself a favor. Go to baseballreference.com and look up Ted Simmons' numbers. He was overshadowed by Johnny Bench all those years. Switch hitting catcher.
Played the wrong era.
Yeah, if you're a baseball fan, you'll appreciate it. Look up his numbers.
In the dirt, and that one trapped by Hedges. 2-2 now to Yadier Molina. Four in a row retired by Clayton Richard. 2 by way of the K so far. Fly ball fouled off to the right, out of play. Myers gives it a look, but it is into the seats. This year he's had 2 16-game hitting streaks. That's close. Framed there by Hedges for an extra second, but Jerry Meals not biting. Full count. Ooh, that was a good pitch.
You're darn right it was. Right on the inside corner.
And Molina ends up walking with one out here in the second. First base runner of the night for the Cardinals to reach.
Got a game break coming up from the Motor City, Detroit Rock City, and the Yankees.
One out, one on, and Jed Jerko coming up, the former Padre. 269, 17 homers, and 59 runs batted in for Jerko. Against the Padres, a .560 batting average. To third, Solarte goes to second for 1, on to first for 2. Double play around the horn, nicely done. Goes 5-4-3 and started at third base by Solarte. That'll work on the chopper to third. To second for 1, on to first for 2. Scoreless through 2. Along here to the third inning, and the Padres pitcher Clayton Richard leading it off. It's relatively close to the plate, and that one got him. Hit by a pitch to begin things here to begin the inning. Must have just grazed him.
Got to take advantage of that. Boy, is he on the dish. Look at that. His toe. Oh, I don't even think that did that hit him?
I guess.
Did it hit the jersey?
See if the jersey moves at all. I don't remember him being this close to the plate before.
Oh yeah, you can see the jersey move.
So down to first he goes. Hit batter to begin things here in the inning.
His toes were like a free throw shooter at the free throw line.
Yeah.
That close to the chalk line.
Now Manuel Margot, second time through here for the Padres against Lance Lynn. And he flied out to right field, and Stephen Piscotty in the first inning, so 0 for 1 on the night. On the ground right side, and by the dive of Colton Wong into right field. Richard will take second base, and Margot aboard with a base hit here, and Padres have something going in the third. Third hit for San Diego off Lance Lynn.
Well, right out of the get-go, Lance Lynn is doing a good job as far as fastballs in, away, in. He's mixing it up. And this first pitch, early hacking. If you get, as a right-handed hitter, you get something up and away, hack at a fastball. Same thing for a lefty. If you can get extended middle away, and it's in that hitting zone, I say take a whack at it.
So 2 on, nobody out, and Aswahe will take strike one over the outside corner. Now among rookies, where does Carlos rank? Most hits since July the 1st. Aswahe fourth in that category with 44. Paul DeYoung in this game with 54, leading in that category for the Cardinals. And the shortstop fouled back, and it's 0-2 now to Aswahe. Richard hit by a pitch. Margot single to right field. First 2 on here for San Diego as they bat in the top of the third inning. Off to the left, and it's 1-2 still.
Outfield, especially in left field, Tommy Pham over towards that left field line. When you look at center field, Fowler, he's maybe a couple steps on the shortstop side of the second base bag. So there is somewhat of a gap out that way. If Lance Lynn is going to continue to pitch Aswahe away. There it is again. Well, he likes to slow it down, doesn't he?
Very deliberate in between pitches, especially with men on. Men on right now. Richard at second base. Margot at first. Nobody out here in the third. Aswahe lines it foul. Down by the tarp area.
You know, that last game break, the guys in the studio were talking about Tigers, Yankees. How about Aaron Judge? Struck out in 37 consecutive games, tying an MLB record. That's unbelievable.
A lot of home runs, but a lot of strikeouts.
Yep. Hopefully for Aswahe, avoid a strikeout here, keep it going. Multiple base runners with nobody out. Tried to backdoor the curveball there. And you know, I think as a pitcher, if you're throwing fastball, in abundance of fastballs, right? When you throw that breaking ball, you might not have the best feel for it. So that might be like a show pitch to where he'll try to go into Aswahe here.
Taps it foul, and the at bat continues.
Another breaking ball.
Trying to get the feel for it.
Yeah. And the cat and mouse game continues here. Aswahe hanging tough.
Richard hit by a pitch to begin the inning. Margot single to right field. 2 on, nobody out. And a scoreless contest here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Most times allowing 2 or fewer runs. Lance Lynn. 19 times he's allowed 2 or fewer. That is remarkably consistent and a pretty good list.
Yeah, that's keeping your club in a ball game and a great chance of getting a win. There's a reason why he's got 10 wins. Probably should have more.
10th pitch of the at bat coming up here. And Aswahe fouls it back. We've seen some lengthy at bats tonight. 2 that have gone into double figures. Will Myers earlier, now Carlos Aswahe here in the 3rd inning. Deuces are wild on the scoreboard and right. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men on. That one sails away. Full count.
Good eye. Running fastball. Fish ain't biting out there for Aswahe. It's a good way of getting the pitch count up there. 11 pitches this at bat. We got a dozen coming your way right here, folks.
And he stays alive here, fouling another one off.
We got a baker's dozen coming up here next, folks.
That one was almost in Yachty's glove, it seemed like.
Just got a piece of it.
And Lynn individually now up over 50 pitches. This will be pitch number 52 coming up. And he finally strikes out Aswahe. 2nd strikeout for Lynn. 1st out here in the 3rd inning.
Lance Lynn went to his strength. What is that? It's the fastball we talked about. 93 off the plate, but it's so close. He's got good control, and as a hitter you have to offer it that, at least foul it off and get another shot. But Lance Lynn wins that battle.
So 1 out, 2 on, and Jose Pirela coming up. 367 average, a home run, 21 runs batted in with runners in scoring position, and presented with that situation here with Richard at second base right now. Time called. Richard at second, Margot at first with 1 out here in the Padres' 3rd inning. '26th start of the year for the right-hander. Looking for win number 11 individually. Look out, and that one hits Pirela. 2nd batter that Lynn has hit this inning, and it loads the bases for the Padres.
Well, he's not afraid to throw the fastball in, and there are times when that's going to happen. Lefty Clayton Richard leads off this inning, hit by pitch. He got him on the jersey, and now Pirela. Yeah,
Couple of jerseys.
yeah.
So bases filled with Padres, 1 down, and Yangervis Solarte coming up. Fly down to the left fielder Tommy Pham in the 1st inning. 0 for 1.
You know, prior to this game, Lance Lynn hit 7 batters, chalk it up 2 more to 9. We got to do some damage here. It's imperative that you at least get a hit here.
Well, the infield coming in to join Yadier Molina and Lance Lynn in this conversation. The long battle with Carlos Aswahe before striking him out, and he hits Pirela to load the bases here with 1 down in the 3rd inning.
I think Yadier took charge in that meeting right there. Seems like he was doing all the talking. think there's anybody to light a fire under somebody. It's Yadier Molina.
Mike Matheny, the former catcher in his own right, looking on. Outfield straight away on Yangervis Solarte. Fouls it down the left field line into the seats. That fastball running away, and Solarte flips it foul down that left field line.
I'll tell you, from the pitches I've seen, Don, now 56, I don't think I've seen Lance Lynn in the center of the plate. Everything's been on the corners, the outer thirds. If you dissect that plate into 3 parts, right? That middle third, he's stayed away. He's gotten into some trouble, obviously. The walk, the hit batsman. No walks, check that. The hit batsman. Another off the plate, trying to hit those corners.
Now the pitch count rising. Next pitch will be the 58th of his outing through 2 1/3 innings so far for the right-hander. Richard at third, Margot at second, and Perella at first with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. And to right field, Piscotty on the run isn't going to get there. It's a gapper to the track of the wall. Richard will score. Margot will score. Perella trying to score from first. He will. It's a bases clearing double for Yangervis Solarte. And the Padres take a 3-0 lead. Now Solarte, with the bases loaded, sends one to the alley in right center field and scores them all.
There's a reason why they call it the cleanup position. Why? In this scenario, the bases are loaded. Solarte batting 4th. He's batting cleanup. And here you see it. He's cleaning them up. Richard, Margot, Perella. That's nice.
Now the Padres taking advantage of 2 hit batsmen in the inning, and so far have scored 3 times. Now Will Myers will take ball 1. Second time through, going much better for the Padres here against Lance Lynn, and Lynn not helping himself out. Myers grounded back to Lynn in the 2nd inning, so 0 for 1. To center field, and Dexter Fowler's over to make the catch, middle of the cap high for out number 2 of the inning, and Solarte back to the bag at second. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Corey Spangenberg. First time allowing 3+ earned runs since June the 29th at Arizona against the Diamondbacks, and it's the San Diego Padres who've gotten to Lance Lynn so far here tonight early.
They've got the pitch count up. I mean, Asuaje's at bat resulted in the strikeout, but still made him throw a lot of pitches, and he made the mistake, and Solarte made him pay. Another big key playing in this ballpark is keeping those fans quiet as well.
They are quiet right now.
Yep.
Good sized crowd on hand here tonight in St. Louis. And it's been all San Diego to this point. Fouled off down the left field line, out of play. And that'll even the count at 1-1 to Corey Spangenberg, a strikeout victim in the 2nd. One of 2 strikeouts for Lance Lynn in this game. It had been 19 straight starts for the right-hander that he had allowed 2 or fewer runs.
Fryer coming into St. Louis swinging the shillelaghs.
Spangenberg will chop one down the 3rd baseline. Jerko's got it. His throw across is in time. Nice play by Jed Jerko at 3rd base to end the inning. But a bases loaded gapper double for Yangervis Solarte to right center field. Scores Richard, Margot, and Perella, and puts the Padres on top 3-0. Now the Padres scoring 3 times in their half of the third inning to take a 3-0 lead over the Cardinals on a very comfortable evening tonight in St. Louis for game 1 of this 3-game series. Good start for the Padres. Good start for Clayton Richard at this point of the game. Meanwhile, they've driven up the pitch count for Lance Lynn to 64 pitches. Stephen Piscotty leading it off. And he'll take ball 1 from Clayton Richard. Piscotty, Wong, and Lynn scheduled to bat in the inning.
Don, we say it every time when your club scores a run. In the case for the Padres, 3 in the top of the third, it's the job of Clayton Richard to throw very few pitches, get right back in that dugout.
Always good to have a shutdown inning, and to this point, he's been very economical. It's a strike over there to Piscotty. Two strikeouts so far for Clayton Richard, 1 walk. And just off the outside edge has him down 3-1. The leadoff hitter Piscotty.
Pretty good pitch right there. Yeah, off the plate.
Strike this time though, as Piscotty gets bad news from Jerry Meals, home plate umpire.
That's dotting the fastball right there. That's paint.
Up the middle into center field for a base hit. Margot over to cut it off. But a leadoff single for Stephen Piscotty, first hit of the night for the Cardinals. Time out for the top tier player profile brought to you by Arco. Clayton Richard, longest gap in between shutouts, active leaders. Clayton went 5 years and 8 days in between shutouts. Rich Hill, the leader in that category by a lot. 3 years longer than R.A. Dickey. Rich Hill went 9 years and 9 days in between shutouts.
A couple of factors here. One is specialization of the bullpen. Second, pitch count.
Line to left field. Colton Wong. Up to second base goes Piscotty. Wong wasn't waiting around. Took a hack at the first pitch, lined into the left, and the Cardinals have 2 on with nobody out.
Like any pitcher, as a hitter, if you try to pull, it can result in a weak ground ball. And now lefty on lefty with Wong and Richard. Even though this ball is middle in, boy, he inside outs that pitch nicely, spanks it the other way for the base hit. He got his hands in first and then just hit the inside part of that baseball to send it down that left field side.
So 2 on, nobody out, and Lance Lynn, the pitcher, coming up. Padres fully expect him to be bunting. And they are in at the corners here. Lynn is now a switch hitter, hitting at .085 in his 6 major league seasons. He's 3 for 42 this year at .071. He is not squaring, and he's taking a pitch down low. Solarte was about 20 feet from him, charging in from third.
He's charging, and Dusty Coleman going to cover third base on the possibility of a throw being down there at the force at third base. Watch Solarte. He will charge. And
all of a sudden, whoa, he may be swinging away here. And the first pitch, no indication of a bunt. This time he does, and he offered at it for strike 1.
So on that wheel play they were putting on, Dusty Coleman going over to third base, so Suaje was going behind the runner at first, so no defender at second base, so no possible throwdown from the catcher.
Swinging away and chopping one to third. Coleman doesn't know where to go. He's going to tag the bag at third for a force out. That almost was a disaster.
Yeah.
Chopper up over Solarte's head. Coleman on the wheel play was headed to third. He gets it. Looked at first, looked at third, ended up racing to the bag at third to get the force out finally.
In my opinion, I think he immediately got to go to third and then go to try to get Lynn at first, because the runner at second base probably has a good jump. It's a high chopper, and Lynn, who doesn't run that well. Probably a good chance of doubling up Lynn. So third for the Force, and then across the diamond to try to get Lynn. At least they do get one out. They get the lead runner.
So Wong to second, Lynn at first, one away, and Matt Carpenter coming up. 293 hitter with runners in scoring position. Padres double play depth here with one down in the inning. Strike one. Singles to Piscotty and Wong to begin the inning before Lynn grounds into the fielder's choice. Five ground ball outs so far for Richard, so that's among the norm for him. Sixth start of the year for the veteran left-hander. Ball and a strike to Matt Carpenter. Ball two.
Well, let's look at that last play. Nobody's at second. Carlos Asuaje, he's kind of trailing the runner. Nobody's there for Dusty Coleman, and Will Myers was charging at first base, so Dusty was kind of caught in between. He did get the lead runner. So initially he couldn't go to second. Nobody was there.
And he got Myers charging at first base, so ended up getting the out. That's strike two. 2-2. Carpenter a strikeout victim in the first, one of 2 Ks so far tonight for Clayton Richard. Bluff off the backside, no throw. Long at second, Lynn the pitcher at first with one out here in the Cardinals' third inning. Trying to answer a 3-run top half of the third inning for San Diego. Full count now. Richard has struck out 2. He's walked a batter in 2 1/3 innings.
I think Mike Matheny is going to hold the runners here.
To right field, Perella moving in and over to make the catch. His throw will go to third. Runners stay where they're at, and that is out number 2. So Carpenter lining out to right for the second out. You got Tommy Pham coming up, and he has been red hot for the Cardinals and been about their best player really consistently over the course of the season.
Very aggressive swing. We see that Tommy Pham can go from foul pole to foul pole. He can steal the base. He's got some speed, and don't forget about him when he's on second base, because he'll swipe third as well.
In this spot, a .267 hitter on the year. 2 outs, 2 on. Strike one. Padres playing for him to go the other way. They move the center fielder Manuel Margot into right center. And well off the line and left is Spangenberg. If he pulls one down the line, he's going to run a long time. As you see Spangenberg well over into left center field. Line down the right field line over towards the corner goes Perella, and that'll be a foul ball. Virtually no foul ground as the boxes jet out. You get about 2/3 of the way down the line. And Pham finds his seats and is behind 1-2.
Very tough for a right fielder and left field because you got to break it down at some point. That's usually where guys slide. They'll slide before they approach that foul line so they don't go busting into that wall down there.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Rung up by Ron Culpa, and Clayton Richard with a strikeout that gets him out of the jam. Now Richard gets Tommy Pham on the swing, his 3rd strikeout, and the Cardinals will strand a pair. 3-0 Padres. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Carlos is wise. Lengthy at bat may have tired the starter Lance Lynn a little bit.
Yeah, I think it had some effect. It was a 13-pitch at bat. Ultimately, he goes down swinging, but still hit batsman. And then all of a sudden, the mistake with the pitch to Solarte that splits the gap. Richard and Margot and Perella score. See how upset Lance Lynn is. Talk about taking advantage of a mistake. Solarte did just that.
So we head to the 4th inning. Austin Hedges takes a hack at the first pitch. Skies one to right. Piscotty coming over towards the line and foul ground, and Piscotty makes the catch in front of the short fencing just beyond the tarp down the right field line. A long way to go, and a nice catch in foul ground to get out number 1 of the inning.
MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Padres baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Padres home screen icons, app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Gotta have it.
One down in the 4th inning, and it brings up Dusty Coleman. Flied out to right field first time up. Coleman getting the start at shortstop tonight for the Padres. To right field, playing deeply was Piscotty, but he'll get in to make the catch on the sinking line drive. Went into the slide to make that grab, and 2 nice plays To open up this fourth inning for the Cardinals right fielder.
Long way, the first one going to his left, now going to his right into the right center field gap. He's getting his road work in out there this inning.
So 2 down in the fourth, and it brings up Clayton Richard. Hit by a pitch, his first time up, grazed the jersey. And the home plate umpire here, Jerry Meals, has stepped out and trying to move, I think, Richard back into the box maybe, because he is so close again.
Yeah, remember, it's the outside part of the white line. You could be on the chalk line. It's like, you know what I'm saying, Don? See the white chalk line?
Yep.
It's the outside part of the white line you got to be worried about. You can stand on the line. We see that all the time. Hitters will have their foot on that white line. But if your foot is completely out, not touching the back part of the line, and they're starting to get worn out as the game goes on. But
I think about Justin Turner, who's right on that line all the time.
Right.
This one fouled back. Not sure what the change in philosophy is here tonight for Clayton Richard. I don't remember him being this close.
I don't either. Maybe Bob Scanlon can get his Sherlock Holmes hat and pipe out and do some investigating. Get the Basset Hound out, start sniffing around.
That's in there for strike 3. That's his third strikeout for Lynn. Padres down in order for the first time tonight.
A long period of time, and every time you look up, there's a name you hadn't heard of before that's manning shortstop and hitting about 30 home runs for him. So, yeah, they're bringing up good players that weren't even the highest draft picks. So they're doing a great job developing them as well. And if we can hit a few the way they have, we'll be in really good shape.
Andy Green talking about the St. Louis Cardinals organization, in many ways still the gold standard. Of course, he's talking about Paul DeJong when he talks about shortstops being called up. DeJong hitting .299 coming into this ballgame with 20 home runs. And while Andy says, look, the Padres aren't quite there yet. They are working to get that same reputation as the Cardinals. Tonight, 7 of the 9 batters in this lineup for the Cardinals homegrown, meaning they were drafted and developed by this organization. Guys, Padres trying to get there as well. Hopefully it won't be too long.
Yeah, you got to respect the way that they have gone about putting this team together, and you can tell they are on their way again. But it is remarkable. You look year in and year out, the Cardinals near the top or in the conversation every year. It's incredible.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed over the years, it's like the Cardinals, they really don't hype their youngsters in the minor leagues. They put them in a position where they're going to succeed, and they don't rush them. Because, you know, all the years have been coming, even back in the day, you know, you come to St. Louis and they call up a kid. Yeah, you've heard about him, but it's not like they, you know, they go overboard on it. And I mean, before this year, did you hear about Paul DeJong?
No. Richard falling behind here 3-1 to Paul DeJong. Leads it off in the 4th inning. DeJong, Fowler, and Molina.
And I don't think that they, through the years.
Richard will field this, run a little bit, flip underhanded for out number 1. Right back at him. A good fielding defensive pitcher. 1 down.
To where it's promoting from A ball to AA, AA to AAA, and AAA to the big leagues. I don't think they're going to. They're going to try not to put a guy in a position to where if he gets promoted, he's not going to really embarrass himself. Or be overmatched, I should say.
Like to have him graduate at every level before they elevate him to the next.
Right.
As Dexter Fowler will take a pitch outside. He struck out looking in the 2nd inning. 3 strikeouts for Clayton Richard to this point of the ball game. 5-game hitting streak, 8 hits along the way, and 444 during the hitting streak. To short, Coleman with a nice spin and a throw. Nice play by Dusty Coleman. Sharply hit a good first step to his left, then goes into the spin and throws out Dexter Fowler. 2 down.
Don, you got that right. That ball was hit sharply. And Dusty Coleman not only showing off the range to his left, but also as he spins, the accuracy on the arm, the flip throw. Look at the arm speed. Look at him getting through. We talk about pitchers and arm speed. When he came out of the glove from the ear, bam, through to the release. Displaying a pretty good arm right there.
2 down here in the 4th inning brings up Yadier Molina. Molina walked in the 2nd inning, but then was in the midst of a 5-4-3 double play. His 14th major league season, a career .284 hitter. Over 100 home runs in his major league career. On the ground down the line at 3rd. It's a fair ball. Kicks off the box seats and heads to Spangenberg in left. Molina's thinking too. Here comes the throw, and he will be safe at 2nd base. Suaje tried to apply the tag, but Molina's got himself a 2-out double.
Boy, getting up and in and getting on top of this and then keeping it fair. Now Molina does not have good speed. Spangenberg coming up, trying to make the good throw. Wow.
So 2 down, runner at 2nd base now for the Cardinals. Gives Jed Jerko a chance. In there for strike 1. .244 average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. In the air to deep left field. Spangenberg going back and looking up, it's gone. 2-run home run for Jed Jerko, his 18th of the year. The former Padre brings the Cardinals within a run. It's now 3-2 San Diego.
Wow. 92 up, inner 3rd, and Jerko 1-1 fastball. Stays on top of it just enough for the 2-run shot.
So all of this coming with 2 down in the inning. And now Stephen Piscotty Take strike one. Now Richard got DeYoung to ground back to the mound. Fowler to ground out to short. But the double by Molina. The 2-run home run by Jerko. Now Piscotty trying to hold up. They'll check. He didn't go. To right center field, struck pretty well. Margot going back at the wall, and that ball's gone. The Cardinals go back-to-back in the 4th inning. Jerko with a 2-run shot. Piscotty a solo shot, and just like that, the Cardinals have tied the game 3-3.
Piscotty going opposite field. Breaking ball. Boy, he stayed on that breaking ball nicely. Let it travel. Rather than trying to pull it, takes it to right center field. It's good AB.
So a tie game. Colton Wong, the batter, batting out of the 8 spot. Complexion of this one has changed in a blink of an eye. 0-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. As Blakeney, the third base umpire, rings him up to end the inning, but the damage done. 3 runs for the Cardinals, tied 3-3. Ball brought to you by Honda. Hurry into the Honda Summerbration sales event today. By Saquon, play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by RCP Block and Brick. Start your outdoor project at rcpblock.com. Wild one tonight in St. Louis. Padres had a 3-0 lead. Cardinals answer with 3 of their own in the bottom of the 4th inning on back-to-back home runs, and this game is tied 3-3. To the 5th inning we go, and the top of the Padres order, Manuel Margot to lead it off here against Lance Lynn, who has a new lease on life. Margot 1 for 2 in the ball game. A lot of pitches for Lynn. 71 through the first 4 tonight. Margot flied out to right in the first, single to right in the third, and scored a run. Padres getting their 3 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. And all three driven in by Yangervis Solarte with a bases clearing double at the time.
You know, the Cardinals aren't really known for being a home run team. They are ranked 9th in the National League, but that doesn't mean they won't put the ball in the ballpark. It was evident that last half inning. It's just a matter of hitting some mistakes. They both were 1-1 counts. Started off by Molina's double. And you know what's impressive is Piscotty's home run. The breaking ball outer half taken the other way. That was pretty impressive.
Margot takes it the other way, but foul.
You know, we talk about guys taking fastballs the opposite way, right?
Yep.
But a breaking ball from a lefty outer half to taking it that way. A lot of guys will try to pull that ball. You get a weak grounder, they'll take it. That was an impressive at bat.
Now Mike Matheny's team coming from 3 runs down to tie it up. Now Margot sends it out to right center field, and that one's in for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Margot, his 2nd hit of the ball game.
He fought that one off nicely. And it's evident that Lance Lynn will throw a lot of fastballs into righties, right? Well, if it's up, fight it off. High fastball. Get on top of it. Fight it off, Manuel. And he does just that for the knock to right.
Carlos Suaje getting his 3rd look at Lance Lynn. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Suaje a single in the first as he checks on Margot right away. Lance Lynn, who missed all of 2016. 18-game winner back in 2012. It's 18-7. Bunt bid here by Suaje. Out comes Molina. Fires to first. A seed to first base. Sacrifice complete. Margot takes second. Suaje retired. Well, it's time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Andrew Miller, who threw just 7 pitches last night for the Indians. The right knee soreness that had him out for a week. Looks like he may be headed back onto the DL. Clayton Kershaw make a rehab outing in Oklahoma City, makes his way back. That'll be on Saturday. And more Mets starters. Now, Steven Matz will miss the remainder of the season with the ulnar nerve in his left elbow, surgically to be repaired.
Wow. Somebody's got a voodoo doll of that Mets rotation,
wow.
huh?
Unbelievable. 1 on and 1 out. The sacrifice by Suaje. And now Pirela. He's already been hit in this game. Spins out of the way of that pitch in. Two and 0. Another fastball in. Single by Margot to begin the inning. He's taken second on the sacrifice bunt by Carlos Suaje. Pirela now. Solarte waiting on deck. On the ground, shortstop way. A look at second, but a throw for DeYoung that is in time to retire Pirela. 2 down here in the 5th. The last time Yangervis was at the plate, the bases were loaded back in the 3rd inning, and he would double to the right center field gap and clear the bases. That would score Richard, Margot, and Pirela and put the Padres on top 3-0. RBIs 48, 49, and 50 on the year for Solarte. And in this spot, 2 outs, runners in scoring position at 3:18. He's got Margot at second with good speed. And 2 down here in the Padres 5th inning. Solarte to right center field. Piscotty's on the run, and that'll get down to the track in the wall. Around from second comes Margot. Solarte has done it again, and the Padres take a 4-3 lead. His second double, his fourth run driven in, and the Padres are back on top again.
Remember the first double? It was a pitch he went down and got. This pitch here looks like it's a breaking ball. He went down and got it. If taken, looks like a curveball at 79. Speeds up his bat. Oh yeah, I got you. 2 doubles on the night for Jan Hervis. It's tougher to get those batting gloves off than it is to hit a double tonight for Jan Hervis.
2 down, runner at second. Will Myers getting his third AB of the night. He is grounded back to the mound and flied out to center.
I'd like to see Will run into one.
Myers sitting on 24 home runs on the year.
10 days ago since he
Line and caught third base by Jed Jerko. That'll end the inning, but Jan Hervis Solarte has done it again. An RBI double to right center field for Jan Hervis. He's driven in all 4 runs for the Padres, and San Diego halfway through is a 4-3 lead. The bottom of the 5th inning we go, and Lance Lynn leading it off here for the Cardinals. So it is pitcher to pitcher here to begin the inning, and the Padres have retaken the lead on top 4-3. Lynn will ground one to short. Dusty Coleman gathers and throws for the first out here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Well, Dusty's been busy tonight at shortstop. Always a lot of ground ball outs when Clayton Richard is involved, and one down so far here in the 5th inning. Top of the order, Matt Carpenter coming up. He struck out swinging in the 1st inning, lined out to right in the 3rd. 0 for 2. We got 8 ground ball outs through 4 1/3 innings.
1, 2. Did you count the double plays?
2.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm still counting. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We'll be back with you when you get a chance. 1-1 the count.
5. What did you say?
8.
Sure, sounds good. Yes, he
I
did.
think he went. And home plate umpire Jerry Meals says he did. Eight ground ball outs. 1 fly out, 4 strikeouts.
Take that. Tough to elevate.
Outside here to Carpenter. Center fielder Manuel Margot. Step or 2 towards left center. Lots of green grass out there in right center. As Clayton Richard with his 70th pitch. And a swing and a miss. He made Carpenter look bad. 5th strikeout for Richard. 2 down here in the 5th inning.
The long-awaited super fight between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor is here. It all begins Friday with the weigh-ins live on FS1. Then Saturday, the action's on Fox as we host a special pre-fight show at 3 p.m. followed by a huge prelims card at 4 p.m. And after the super fight, don't miss the post-fight commentary and interviews on FS1.
Where are we going to find the fight?
FS1.
I know that, but where are we going to go watch it when we're in Miami?
Oh, you mean you and I physically? Where are we going to go?
Where are we going to see it? This needs to be addressed. 2 down here in the inning. And Pham with a bloop to right field. Pirella coming in, and he'll make the catch that ends the inning. Clayton Richard is 1-2-3 5th. Padres have a 4-3 lead. Having a big night for the Padres with the bases loaded back in the 3rd inning. A gapper to right center field. He would drive in 3 runs, but back come the Cardinals. A 2-run shot by Jed Jerko. They would go back to back. A solo shot for Stephen Piscotty to right center field, and the game was tied 3-3 until last inning when Yangervis Solarte doubles in Manuel Margot from second base. Another gapper to right center field, and Solarte has driven in all 4 Padres runs in the game. San Diego on top 4-3. Top of the 6th inning, and Corey Spangenberg to lead it off here for San Diego. 85th pitch for Lynn is going to run away for ball 1.
You know what I've always liked is, like, in a situation we are in now, is when announcers say Yangervis Solarte 4, the Cardinals 3.
You like that when announcers say that?
Yeah.
Do you want this announcer to say
No,
that
you're
next
doing
time?
just great.
Or?
You're doing
okay.
a great job.
Spangenberg is 0 for 2. He struck out in the 2nd. Grounded out to 3rd base in the 3rd.
But you really can't say that because it's been the other players, his teammates, who've gotten out for him. So
that's true.
We're all a team here, and it's the Padres. So the Padres 4.
So if that announcer were to say that, he would be wrong.
Well, I see where he's going, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be correct. I can see his intent.
Strike in there, and it's 2-2. Clayton Richards, 72 pitches through the first 5, fresh off a 1-2-3 inning. Full count here to Spangenberg. Spangy looking for his first hit of the night. On the ground, right side. To his left is Wong. Throws out Spangenberg for the first out of the 6th inning. We're down for Austin Hedges. A single to left and fouled out down the right field line. Nice running catch by Stephen Piscotty. In foul ground down the right field line. It's been a 10-win season so far for Lance Lynn coming in. Gave up 3 in the 3rd, a run in the 5th. Next pitch will be the 92nd of his outing. And Hedges lays off a pitch high.
1.65 ERA in 9 starts since the beginning of July. We talked about that earlier. We also talked about the 2 or fewer runs in each of those outings. He's just been really reliable.
Tagged for 4 so far in tonight's game. Off the end of the bat, foul to the right side, 2-1. Some action for the first time in the Cardinals pen. As Hedges fouls off another and evens it count at 2-2. Bowman up in the pen right now for St. Louis. Chop foul outside of 3rd. It's still 2-2. Base is empty, 1 down here in the 6th inning. Hedges batting now, and Dusty Coleman waiting on deck. Another long at bat for a Padre hitter tonight. There have been a few, and that's why Lance Lynn is towards the end of his outing right here with 1 out in the 6th inning. 7th pitch of the at bat coming up here for Austin Hedges. Popped up back at 3rd. Jed Jerko steps into foul ground and puts it away for out number 2 of the inning. Well, the Cardinals lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates 6-3 in the Major League Baseball Little League Classic at Bowman Field in Williamsport, Pennsylvania on Sunday night. Yadier Molina was 3 for 4 in the game. Mike Leake took the loss, and handshakes after the game, much like Little Leaguers do.
I love that. Hey, call me, I don't know what you want to call me, but I just love that. You know why? It's like the, here's Mike Leake. In hockey, after a playoff series, I love that.
I think that's the greatest thing about it.
That's a great tradition, I think, in sports.
Yes, playoff hockey.
And
shaking hands after a battle.
And I say, why not spread the love? You just battled, you know. I don't.
Shake hands.
Good game, Donnie.
Nice game.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And shake hands. Crossing home plate. I think it's a very nice gesture.
I think
really
so too.
do.
After a long battle, it is sportsmanship.
How awesome is that? And you did minor league hockey, but I love hockey. I love playoff hockey. But guys are out there, roughing it up, getting sticks in the face and stuff. And then after 7 games or however long it takes, hey, let's take off the gloves.
And shake hands at the end. It's great. It's awesome. And they do it in Little League. So the Pirates and Cardinals did it on Sunday night.
I think that teaches the kids quite a thing or two, right?
I would agree. Good sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
Lance Lynn here dealing with Dusty Coleman with 2 down in the 6th inning, up over a hundo. 101 right now. He's retired 3 Padres in a row. And a swing and a miss for Coleman and a full count. Dusty getting the start at shortstop, has flied out to right twice, and Stephen Piscotty up to the task both times. Well, speaking of kids, how about some Padres on deck? Hudson Potts named the Midwest League Player of the Week, going 14 for 28 at 500.
Wow.
Blake Buckar named the Midwest League Pitcher of the Week. 7 innings of hitless, scoreless, walkless pitching. 7 Ks in that outing.
Nice to see some tin caps doing well. Padres on deck coming at you.
2 outs, a walk here to Dusty Coleman. That is only the first walk of the night given up by Lance Lynn. Two down in the 6th. Coleman at first, and Clayton Richard coming up. Bowman has been joined in the pen by Zach Duke, who is up in the pen. Clayton Richard has been hit by a pitch and struck out looking.
Is he still up on the dish this at bat?
Not as close.
Yeah, you're right.
Not nearly as close.
He's backed off.
I wonder why. First 2 right up on top. This time normally where he is. About in the middle. Chases that. 1 and 2.
We'll have to ask him. That'll be our homework.
Swing and a miss, and Clayton Richard strikes out to end the inning. 4th strikeout for Lance Lynn. We're through 5.5. Padres have a 4-3 lead. To by Clean, Crisp, Coors Light. And some Cardinals in the top 5 most hits in August. Paul DeYoung with 26 and Colton Wong with 25. Charlie Blackmon leads off every day for the Colorado Rockies, has the most with 27 in the month of August to this point.
How about DeYoung? You look at his career, signed in 2015, went to Johnson City and Peoria. That's in Illinois. And then last year in Springfield. He played baseball in college at Illinois State, and it's only fitting that he is a Redbird because Illinois State is the Redbirds. Down in Bloomington, Normal, Illinois.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and Paul DeYoung to lead it off. Clayton Richard with his 73rd pitch of the night. He's got DeYoung to ground out twice. Once to third, once back to the mound. Craig Stammen up in the Padres pen. First action we have seen out there tonight. Padres pen in left, Cardinals pen in right. Grounder foul outside of third. Happy youngster down there.
That's a life changer right there. You ever been to Normal, Illinois?
No. What's it close to?
Bloomington. That's where Illinois State is. Doug Collins.
In there for strike 3. Freezes DeYoung. 6th strikeout for Clayton Richard. One down here in the 6th inning.
Great command to the inside part of the plate for Clayton Richard. Watch the glove of Hedges. Just go down a little bit right on the corner. I tell you what, that ball splits the line on the inside part of the plate. Nice pitch.
One down here in the 6th inning. Dexter Fowler coming up. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Grounded out in the 4th. Both teams chasing that first pitch. Padres at 294. Cardinals at 316. On the ground to second, Suaje. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
You know, that was an interesting little nugget we just saw right there. First pitch, the major league average 346, and then you see the teams and their averages offering at the first pitch. I mean, that really puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, you hope for higher.
Right.
2 down here in the 6th inning. 6 in a row retired by Richard. And it brings up Yadier Molina.
You know what, that blows the theory out. A lot of people say, why are you swinging at the first pitch, right? Major league average is 346 average. I'd take that, right? Pitchers are trying to get ahead. And if it's in that general area, hack at it.
Molina tonight has walked in doubled. Now he hits a fly ball down the right field line, headed for foul ground and out of play. Jose Pirela giving it a look, but well back into the seats. In the air to left field. Struck pretty well. Spangenberg going back at the wall. Ball's gone into the bullpen. Yadier Molina with his 15th home run of the year has tied the score 4-4 on the 3rd home run of the night for the St. Louis Cardinals. Just a pitch down and in that he turns on.
Wow, that one hurts. 0-2. Breaky ball speeds up the bat, and Yadier just drops the head. Just didn't get that breaking ball down and in enough.
That is a night for Clayton Richard. He departs with the game now tied 4-4 from St. Louis. Solo home run to Yadier Molina closes the book on Richard. 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs are all earned, a walk and 6 Ks. Time now for our pitching change, brought to you by El Cajon Ford as Craig Stammen checks into his 46th game of the year.
Well, we've got ourselves a brand new ball game. Knotted up at 4, the 46th game for Craig Stammen. A chance for him to hold these Redbirds and possibly walk away tonight with a victory. Inherits no runners after the home run. Having a darn good year for the veteran right-hander.
The first batter he will face is Jed Jerko.
That's where you got to pitch Jerko. Down and away. Anything middle in. The home run was up a little bit. It was in a little bit. Down and away.
Jerko hitting one of the 3 home runs off Clayton Richard in tonight's game. Grounded softly. Solarte cuts it off from third. Off balance throw. Nice play. That will end the 6th inning, but Yadier Molina's home runs tied the game 4-4.
ever in the arena. I stepped on that floor, and I remember it was against the Chicago Bulls. It was just electric for me.
Tonight on Inside San Diego Sports, we look back on the 50-year history of the Valley View Casino Center. From the Gulls to the Clippers, the Sockers, and more, we'll reminisce about the arena's top moments. That's tonight after Padres Live.
4-4 as we head to the 7th inning, and a new pitcher on now. Cardinals moving on to Matt Bowman, his 62nd appearance of the year.
Well, a chance now for both bullpens to make a difference. It's been pretty much the kryptonite for these Cardinals. Their closer situation up in the air. Oh, has been closing, but it looks like Rosenthal may be out for the year. So everybody moves up a little bit in the food chain there. Good two-seam fastball from Bowman. He's about 90-91. Heavy on the sinkers. He also throws a split and a slider.
This is line foul outside of third off the bat of Margot. Leads it off here in the 7th inning. Now Lance Lynn ends up throwing 108 pitches. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs. Walked a batter, struck out 4, and hit 2 batters. Not part of the decision tonight. Game tied 4-4. As Margot will take a pitch away. Manuel with 2 hits tonight atop the Padres order. Both singles to right. He's also scored 2 runs in the game. Chop towards third base. That is a foul ball. Foul ball. Right down that line at third, and until it gets to the bag at third, it's a call of Jerry Meals, home plate umpire. But then call coming from behind Jed Jerko and Ryan Blakeney, third base umpire. So 1-2 to Margot. Carlos Azuaje waits on deck. Not Lance Lynn's best night tonight.
No.
The Cardinal starter,
especially the way he's been throwing the baseball. And there's bound to have an outing where you're not going to be at your best mixed in there. And Solarte hit some mistakes to put him on the board. That's for sure.
Harris with the bases clearing double in the third to drive in 3 runs.
And thank goodness for a little wildness, and not just the walks, but the 1 walk, but 2 hit batsmen, Clayton Richard and Perella.
There's ball 4 to Margot. Now, last time Rosenthal threw was at Fenway Park in Boston, and it did not go well. And after that, placed on the DL. Xander Bogaerts taking him over the Green Monster and left. And he left with the injury. Pitchers have been dropping like flies for Mike Matheny here. Not quite to the New York Mets extent, but still quite a bit. Runner at first, nobody out. Azuaje will take ball 1. Long look down to Glenn Hoffman to see everything's on here with the lead runner on, now in a tie game. Padres batting in their half of the 7th inning. Check on Margot.
Don, occasionally I'll talk about pitchers and the pitcher's plate in contact with. Tell you what, Bowman, as we take a look at the last 10 games for the Cardinals bullpen, not good. He goes from the extreme first base side. I mean, the toe of his shoe is just touching that rubber. Extreme right side, as you can see from that shot.
On the ground and through the vacated right side into right field, a base hit. Margot is headed towards third. The throw is headed there too, but it's very late, and it's first and third with nobody out here in the Padres 7th inning. Now Carlos Azuaje with a base hit through the right side, and the Padres in business here in the 7th inning.
Well, Carlos has been battling all night. Even though he struck out in the third, it was a 13-pitch at bat. Now it's a new arm he's facing, and that pitch right there off speed might have been a high split. Well, he gets on top of it. Some serious top hand. A little first and third action with nobody out. And Margot goes.
So they're at the corners with nobody out here in the 7th, and it brings up Jose Perella. Reached base in the 3rd inning, hit by a pitch and scored a run. Padres trying to take advantage of a roughed up bullpen for the Cardinals. A good start in that regard here in the top of the 7th inning. A walk for Margot, the single for Suaje. And Perella wanted to be sure. He stepped out again, looking down there at Glenn Hoffman. May have missed the signs first time around. Down 0-2.
Nice pick by Yadier on that last one with the runner at third base 90 feet away.
Lined into left field, a base hit for Perella. From third base comes Margot, and the Padres are back on top 5-4. Jose Perella reaches out and sends it into left field. Margot scores, and the Padres are back on top again.
If that pitch is taken, it's a ball. It is off the plate. Perella goes out and gets this ball and hooks it. Watch this pitch. Out off the plate, off speed pitch, speeds up his bat. Looked like a split finger. Top hand, finds the hole, breaks the tie.
That's going to do it for Bowman. He is done after facing 3 hitters and giving up the lead.
Tie, a 3-pitch at bat for Jose Perella. In. Looks like off speed stuff. Then watch him go out and get this one. Split finger down and away, 7/8, splits the gap on the left side. Good piece of hitting right there by Jose Perella. The guy continues to rake. And still nobody out.
Suaje at second, Perella at first to run in, and Zach Duke into his 11th game of the year. Lefty's only hitting at .071 against him, dealing with a right-hander here with Solarte, the switch hitting Padres third baseman, and on the right side. And what a night he's had already, driving in 4 of the 5 Padres runs in the game.
Well, they're going to see a lot of two-seamers from Zach Duke. Pretty much throws everything. Curve, change, slider, Mix in a four-seamer once in a while.
Well, Yangervis Solarte back in the third inning with the bases loaded, hits his double to gap in right center field. Gave the Padres at the time a 3-0 advantage, then puts them on top 4-3 with a double. Back to that gap in right center again. And it scored Manuel Margot, and Padres had a 4-3 lead. Now they lead it 5-4. As Solarte grounds it foul outside of third and finds himself down in the count 1-2. Walk started this inning for Margot. Single by Asuaje, first and third when Perella got a base hit to left field and scored the go-ahead run. Now Solarte batting right-handed. The number is not nearly as good as when he's on the left side. This will get away to the backstop, and everybody's going to move up. Not even close, and nothing Molina could do there. Zach Duke uncorks that one to the backstop, and it's Asuaje to third, Perella to second.
Now the 1-2 pitch from Duke, just a bit outside, went for the corner and missed. And this is a perfect opportunity because now, with the infield drawn in, Solarte just has to hit a sharp ground ball, hopefully to the right or the left of those infielders. We're talking about cutting down the gap there.
To short, DeYoung will look the runners back and throw out Solarte. So the infield in works there for the first out of the inning.
That's what happens when you'll have a sinker baller, a lefty against a righty, trying to pull that ball.
And the 4-pitch intentional walk here of the no pitch kind to Will Myers, who heads down to first base on the intentional walk. Loads the bases, and they'll go after Corey Spangenberg. Or maybe not. Looks like Corey's going to be called back.
Matt Caesar.
Matt Caesar coming up with the helmet and the bat. Matt Caesar introduced as the pinch hitter. Well, let me ask you this, knowing all the rules of pick the stick.
This is your guy.
This is my guy. Whoever takes over in this spot in the order.
This is your slot in the lineup.
Okay. Good to know. I'm learning the rules as we go. So Matt Caesar returned to the team today. Activated with Kyle McGrath sent back to El Paso, the left-handed reliever. Caesar at 209, 3 homers, 13 runs batted in. Fine numbers between the Cubs and the Padres. And here he is in a big spot. Padres looking to obtain some insurance, as he'll take strike one over the outside corner.
Well, I think the main thing is here to try to stay on the pitch where it's thrown and take him the opposite way. Solarte got a pitch away, grounded to the left side. Be careful about the throw behind also from Molina. You always have to keep that in mind.
Down 0-2. Swine at third, Perella at second, Myers at first.
Watch for the throw down to third base behind the runner.
Caesar reaches out, protects the plate, fouls it off to the right. Everything's been off the plate so far to him. Caesar is certainly comfortable here at Busch Stadium, where he played so many times with the Cubs coming in as part of the National League Central. Swing, and did he get a piece? He did. Foul tip.
After going down and away, breaking ball.
Bases filled with Padres. 0-2 pitch coming up. Caesar grounds it back up the middle into center field. From third base comes Aswahe. Perella's going to try and score. 2 more runs in for the Padres. San Diego taking the 7-4 lead. It's Matt Caesar who drives in a pair.
That's clutch. Sending it back where it came from. Just out of the reach of Zach Duke. Well, you talk about a clutch situation coming off the bench. That's 3 points for Donnie.
Austin Hedges now with runners at first and second. And he'll take strike 1. So those runs are charged to Matt Bowman, who started this inning. And he did not retire anybody. Gave up 2 hits and a walk, and he's charged with 3 runs in the inning. That's tough on the earned run average.
Yeah, it'll skyrocket. You bet. Not recording an out.
Now Hedges with a cutter to pitch down and in. 0-2. Myers at second, Caesar at first. Padres offense enjoying something they haven't had happen a lot lately. Outpouring of runs here tonight on a night where you're facing a pitcher in the last 19 starts who had not given up 2 or more runs. We had only allowed 2 or fewer. Kind of the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. And they're battling. They're putting together some good at-bats.
This
right?
one fouled back. And tonight they get him for 4 runs. He's not part of the decision. He is Lance Lynn and went the first 6 innings. First and second. Still only 1 out in the inning. And Hedges battling here down 0-2. This will get away to the backstop, and the runners will move up again. Myers to third, Caesar to second. Another wild pitch uncorked here.
Molina tries to pick this one. I don't think he tried to get down. Wow. Wild pitch, right?
Wild pitch. One, 2. Popped up. Foul ground. Back comes Molina, but he won't have a play. One-two pitch coming up. And a fly ball to left field, struck pretty well. Back goes Tommy Pham towards the wall, and that ball is going to be off the top of the wall. No, it's gone. Above the wall and gone for Austin Hedges. It's a 3-run shot. 16th home run of the year, and the Padres have opened it up on top now, 10-3. Not exactly sure where that ball hit. Above the wall apparently, and then came back in.
This ball hits atop the Hall of Famers that are displayed on the left field wall, and then there's a little, about a 3-foot ledge on top. Watch where it changes direction. That's a home run.
So a 3-run shot, 10-4. Padres on top as Coleman grabs one down to third. And Jerko throws out Coleman for the second out of the inning. So a big 3-run home run for Austin Hedges. A big 7th inning for the Padres. They have tacked on 6 runs here in the inning so far. And Hector Sanchez coming up here as a pinch hitter. And you got Phil Maton up in the pen now for the Padres. Sanchez 258 homers and 20 runs batted in. 52nd game that he's gotten into, coming off the bench tonight. And taking ball one from Zach Duke. So Duke now has been charged with 3 runs of his own. The 3 charged to Bowman, who started the inning.
Boy, the bullpen really getting exposed, huh? We talked about that prior to this game.
In a big way. Bowman charged with 3, Duke with 3, and Sanchez, the 9th member of the Padres, about here in the top of the 7th. Well, Hedges go down in the count 0-2 and took a 1-2 pitch out of the yard. Sanchez fouls off another, and it hangs at 1-2.
I would say this is a big inning. What do you think, Haas?
I'd say this is a big hit. Yeah, I would agree.
6 looks pretty good up there in the top half of the 7th here.
Back and forth battle until this inning, and that one almost got away.
Zach Duke having some trouble arm side to home plate. Remember, he threw one all the way back to the screen. He bounced a couple to Molina and missing big time on that last one.
Now he gets strike 3 in there to end the inning. 9 men bat and 6 of them score. Matt Caesar driving one back up the middle with the infield in, would play a couple. And then Austin Hedges with a 3-run shot. Padres score 6 times and take a 10-4 lead. Lead over the Cardinals. The 7th inning stretch was brought to you by your San Diego Hyundai dealers. And the Padres now with a 6-run lead headed to the bottom of the 7th inning. And some Padres fans here in St. Louis for the first of 3 between the Padres and the Cardinals. Padres moving on to their 3rd pitcher of the night, Phil Maton.
Real easy to spot the Padre fans in attendance because everybody here wears Cardinal red. And I mean everybody. Unless you're a Padre fan.
Stephen Piscotty leading it off against Maton, and He'll take ball one. Maton taking over for Craig Stammen. 32nd appearance for Maton.
Phil last threw on Sunday against the Nationals. Gave up a run in 1 inning. He walked 2. He's got a lot of breathing room here. 6-run lead. There's not a lot of run in 20 of his 31 appearances this season.
Matt Caesar staying in the game in left field after he pinch hit for Corey Spangenberg and came up with that big 2-run single. Well, after Jed Jerko with a 2-run home run, Cardinals would go back-to-back. Stephen Piscotty with an opposite field home run to right center.
Let that breaking ball out of the hand of Clayton Richard to travel a little bit, outer third, and driving it that way. Very impressive at bat.
Maton trying to find his control right now and falls behind Piscotty 3-1. 2 for 2 in the game. The single and the home run you just saw. Here's ball 4, and Maton does what Andy Green does not want to see here. After a 6-run top of the 7th inning, walks the first batter.
Yeah, that's a frown emoji right there.
Last 3 outings for Maton.
And in the short time, an inning or maybe 2/3 the walks. Got to limit the walks.
Leadoff walk here to Piscotty. Here's Colton Wong. Check swing foul off to the left out of play. Craig Stammen got the final out of the 6th inning, so technically the pitcher of record right now for the Padres. As Clayton Richard went 5 2/3, giving up 4 runs off the hook. 6 hits. Pitch in there for a strike. 0-2. Richard walked to batter, struck out 6 in his 5 2/3. Long thought about it, but a little bit high.
Now remember, Maton, he pitches up in the zone, right? The key is to get ahead in the zone and then work up the ladder. We've seen swings and misses on that high fastball. Nice. Oh, where did that miss? Off the plate, I guess.
Just a tad inside.
Yeah, I said corrected.
Long with a swing and a miss, and down to a knee as he strikes out. First strikeout for Maton. First out here at the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Didn't get the call. It was off the plate, the pitch prior, and then reaches back and spins one up there, this slider, to get the swing and miss. Very nice. Way to bounce back, Phil Maton.
1 on, 1 out, and it brings up the pitcher's spot. Greg Garcia is going to pinch hit. .249, 2 homers, and 14 runs batted in. Pinch hitting for Zach Duke. Garcia grounds it foul outside of first.
Greg Garcia, the pride and joy of Valhalla High School, from El Cajon. Dave Garcia, his grandfather, the late Dave Garcia, great baseball man, lived in San Diego, always came to the ball yard, managed in the big leagues a little bit, scouted for a long time. And then Dave Jr., Greg's dad, a good egg as well. He's had a nice little career. East County representing. You know, us Alpine folk and El Cajon folk got to stick together.
Dave Garcia, I remember being a manager and a longtime coach, as you said, a great baseball man.
He would always come to, back then, Qualcomm Stadium, Jack Murphy, and then Petco, and sit over by the visitors' dugout. Always go over there and talk to Dave, and he was just a joy to be around.
Swing and a miss, and Garcia strikes out. So 2 down here in the 7th inning. So 2 down in the 7th, and Maton back to a breaking ball again here to get his 2nd strikeout of the inning.
Yeah, he got Wong down and in, and Garcia down and in with the breaking ball. Very nice. That's an adjustment. Perfectly placed.
So after the leadoff walk by Piscotty, strikes out Wong and Garcia. Top of the order now. Matt Carpenter, 0 for 3 for him. 2 strikeouts, a line out to right. 245 average from the top spot in the order, but he's got pop, 16 home runs. Padres in a shift on the right side. And in that shift on the right side, that brings Solarte to the right side of the infield. Leave Dusty Coleman on the left side.
There's Solarte. Here's Dusty.
Two and 0. Trying the bunt bid here at the shift on, and he bunts it foul. Saw that open left side of the shift on. Bunts it foul. 2-1. Cardinals batting here in the last of the 7th inning after a 6-run top of the 7th inning by the Padres, who now lead at 10-4. Third time the Padres have scored 10 or more runs in a game. The last time, July 21st at San Francisco, and they scored 12 runs. It's outside. It's 3-1. Like they're coming in, and that's in there for a strike. Strike 2. 38,767 on hand tonight. 38,767 to see game 1 of this 3-game series between the Padres and the Cardinals. Only visit of the year for the Padres. Off pitch, and that is ball 4. He lost him. 2nd walk of the inning allowed by Maton. So 2 on and 2 down, and a visit to the mound for Austin Hedges.
Yeah, and it's obvious the last thing you want is free passes, especially when the Cardinals need base runners and you get in that part of the order where Pham is probably their best hitter right now.
Jose Torres up in the Padres pen. Already seen Stammen and Maton out of that pen tonight after 5 2/3 from Clayton Richard. Look out, and Pham jumps back out of the way of a pitch in. Fastball at 94 miles an hour.
You know, off with the fastball location big time. He wants that pitch down and away.
Darren Balsley, his pitching coach, going to pay a visit to the mound.
Well, we have a second. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. Phil Maton needs a big-time adjustment right here with 2 outs. No more base runners. Get a weak grounder, fly ball.
His 1-0 pitch. In again, 2-0. Able to control that fastball since coming in. The breaking ball has been very good for him. Kind of a weird line for him. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts since coming into the game, and now behind Pham, 2-0. Make it 3-0.
And the frustrating thing is like the adjustment part, right? It's just been in. If you're making an adjustment, at least try to get one out there. Go a little extreme down and away. Hey,
move the fastball in there to make it 3-1.
Easier said than done sometimes, right?
Scotty at second, Carpenter at first. And that's ball 4. He walks his 3rd batter of the inning to load the bases. Andy Green is on his way out. So 3 walks in the inning for Maton. And it loads the bases with 2 down. Jose Torres has been warming in the pen. And a frustrated Phil Maton just couldn't control the fastball. Will leave this game. 10-4, Padres on top. Baseball brought to you by Car Shield. Don't strike out from a big auto repair bill. When you have Car Shield, they will get the repair bill paid for you. Go to carshield.com. By Petco, where the pets go. And by Father Joe's Village. Call 1-800-HOMELESS or visit neighbor.org to make a tax-deductible donation of cash, cars, or furniture. Well, the Cardinals are making some noise here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Jose Torres coming in to take over in a bases loaded situation with 2 down. Taking over for Phil Maton, who walked 3 batters. Paul DeYoung will take a pitch for strike 1. '53rd appearance for Jose Torres.
The good news is the runners in scoring position this year. Opponents only need 164. He needs 1 big out right here to leave 3 Redbirds stranded.
And DeYoung pops it up, foul ground. Hedges will take a look, but that's back and in the seats. So Torres jumping ahead here, 0-2. Maton struck out 2, walked 3. Allowed no hits, but responsible for the 3 men on as he departs. The Cardinals 374, only the 2012 Rays better with the bases loaded average-wise. And that is strike 3. Froze him and leaves the bases loaded. Jose Torres comes in and strikes out DeYoung to end the 7th inning. Cardinals leave them loaded. Padres have themselves a 10-4 lead. All right, Mike and Mark, thanks very much. As Josh Lucas takes over here for the St. Louis Cardinals, it'll be the 4th arm used tonight for the Cardinals. And Manuel Margot to face him here to begin things in the 8th inning. He's already fouled a pitch off. And now grounds one foul outside of third, 0-2. Now some changes here as Kelly is taking over in behind the plate for Molina. Garcia at short, Martinez at first.
And a mass exodus of Redbird
Unbelievable
fans heading for the exits.
It was incredible in between innings.
I thought it like started to rain.
Crowd that was better than 38,000, 38,767 literally just got up and left. The end of the 7th inning. Margot strikes out. They got to throw him out, and they do. So Lucas able to strike out Margot. Put out goes 2-3. Those seats were filled moments ago.
Mm-hmm. Want to know more about Josh Lucas?
Sure.
A lot of sliders. Sliders and sinkers. About mid-90s on the fastball. 93-ish. Had 14 saves in Memphis. The PCL. Was 4th in the PCL in that category. Sidewinder kind of. Throws across his body. .65 strikeouts and only 9 walks in 56 2/3 innings pitched.
And Azwaja gets hit with that pitch, or so he thought, and he did. Umpire indicating he should go to first base. So hit batter with 1 out. Right off that back foot.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 out base runner here for the Padres in the 8th inning. Third time a Suaje is on in the game, and it brings up Jose Perella. On the ground down the third baseline, Jerko throws to first for out number 2. Suaje takes second base, 2 down in the inning. Not hit hard enough to try the double play, so Jerko going across the diamond. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Yangervis Solarte and go back to hitting from the left side with the right-handed pitcher out there, and Josh Lucas. Lucas incidentally taking over for Zach Duke, who in an inning giving up 2 hits, 3 runs of his own. Walked a batter, was intentional, and struck out a batter. Allowed a couple of inherited runners to score. All the pitchers giving up their fair share for the Cardinals tonight. Lynn, the starter, in 6 innings allowed 4. Baumann didn't get anybody out and gave up 3. And Zach Duke went an inning giving up 3. Solarte to right field and deep. Piscotty going back, looking up, and it is gone. Long gone to right field for Yangervis Solarte. It's a 2-run shot for Solarte, and it's been a huge night for Yangervis. He's got 3 hits in the game and now 6 RBIs.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Redbirds have gotten cuidado tonight by Yangervis Solarte. Oh. Talk about swinging a hot shillelagh tonight. That one's heading to East St. Louis. That one was heading towards the banks of the Mississippi. The Ole Miss, the old man.
Home run number 14 of the year for Solarte.
Oh, hard holding back the smiles, that's for sure. Fryer's having some fun tonight.
Will Myers 0 for 3 with a walk in the ball game. The walk was of the intentional variety back in the 7th inning. That one running in tight, 2-2. Tail of the tape on the Solarte home run, 455 feet. Hit it on a 1-0 pitch. Ground foul into the Padres dugout. Almost got Luis Perdomo down there. Myers will foul it off into the Cardinals dugout. That's hard to do.
You know how we say guys are like foul pole to foul pole? Will Myers is dugout to dugout.
That's incredible. I don't think I've ever seen that back-to-back pitches.
I don't either. Now the only thing to do here is send one straight away center field about 428 feet.
And he'll take ball 4, walking for the 2nd time tonight. So 2 outs and a runner at first base, and it brings up Matt Caesar. Caesar came up with a 2-run single, pinch hit 2-run single in the 7th inning. Part of the 6-run 7th. He fouls it off himself for strike 1. Well, time now for our Bill Howe play of the game, and as we mentioned, he was pinch hitting for Corey Spangenberg in the 7th inning. Infield in, right back up the middle, and it would plate 2. Now a little pop-up foul off to the right has him down 0-2. On the ground to shortstop. Garcia will go to second, and relatively close there, but Myers is late arriving. 2 more runs for the Padres on a 2-run home run by Yangervis Solarte. San Diego on top 12-4.
You can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Download the app and take Padres baseball wherever you go.
Well, big night for Yangervis Solarte. The Padres have a 12-4 lead. Jose Torres back on the mound here. Got the final out of the 7th inning. Returns here for the last of the 8th. And Dexter Fowler leading it off here for the Cardinals. For 3 in the game, has struck out and grounded out twice. On the ground and by the dive of Solarte at third into the left field corner. Matt Caesar over to play it, but into second goes Dexter Fowler, the leadoff double to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Right down the line, and Solarte diving down there, but it was by him quickly. Kelly batting for the first time, took over for Yadier Molina last inning defensively. And he'll take strike 1 at 95 from Torres. Carson Kelly at 148. No homers and 5 runs batted in.
He's their #1 catching prospect in the Cardinal organization. You know, Yadier Molina isn't going to be around forever.
Carson Kelly's made 5 starts since being recalled from Memphis on the 21st of July. Pacific Coast All-Star last year. And a swing and a miss here as Torres strikes him out, gets away from Hedges. So he's got to throw him out, and he does. First out of the 8th inning. Second strikeout for Torres. Well, Jed Jerko coming up, and whenever the Padres are in town, or he's facing his old team, seems to do some big things. And Jerko hit a 2-run home run back in the 4th inning. Part of a 1-for-3 night. That was home run number 18 of the season for Jerko. On the ground to short. Coleman will go to first base. Had that runner running in front of him. Thought he might go to third, but with the score being what it is, gets the out at first base as Fowler takes third.
Now, the majority of the home runs off the bat of Jed Jerko, middle in. The last 2 at bats, wherever they pitched him, down and away, ground ball to third base, ground ball to shortstop. Good pitches right there by Torres.
So 2 down, Fowler at third base, and Stephen Piscotty. Piscotty singled in the 3rd, homered in the 4th inning. Jerko and Piscotty going back to back in the 4th inning, which at the time tied the score 3-3. A lot has happened since, with the Padres now on top 12-4. In the air to left field, down the line towards the pole. It'll be a foul ball just to the left of the pole, and the umpire Ryan Blakeney first went up with a fair sign.
Yeah, that's foul. You can see the ball. The ball never disappears behind the pole.
Scotty making a bid for his 2nd home run of the night, 8th of the year. So runner at third, 2 down, the 1-2 pitch. And he ends up striking out. That'll get away from Hedges, and he'll just apply the tag. That will end the inning. So Torres works his way out of the jam with a runner at third base. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 12-4 Padres. 2 doubles, the home run, 6 RBIs, new career high in RBIs for Jan Hervis.
I think Bob Scanlon had him tonight pick the stick.
Maybe. What's he looking at point wise?
I think it's like a 15-point night, isn't it? I could be wrong.
15 points, gentlemen.
Oh, where are you in the
Big
standings?
1-5.
Where are you in the standings, Bob?
You know, I don't know because I've been out of touch the last couple of days and seeing the charts, but I know I'm climbing after 15 points.
That's a good day as well.
I don't know. Ever since I did the lock in Pittsburgh, I don't know if you guys recall that.
That's right. What have you done since then?
There's been a big comeback since then. I went from scraping the bottom of the barrel to climbing. Now I'm in the rearview mirror of Mr. Orsillo, I think.
Wow.
Don't look back, Don. You remember what Sweeney said about using his rear camera?
Yeah.
He was actually driving in reverse. Look at him now.
What out here in the 9th inning?
I'm staying out of this one.
Hey, you got to smack talk while you can, Mud. You know this.
Dusty Coleman's 0 for 3 with a walk in the ball game. Batting out of the 8 spot tonight for the Padres. Carter Capps getting ready in the pen. He's getting more reps lately. Chance to pitch on a more regular basis.
Try to find that consistent groove too, because the games that he's been in, there's been a wide gap as far as leads are concerned. And according to my math, right now the Padres have an 8-run lead.
That's very good. You're all over it. Swing and a miss, and Coleman strikes out. Back-to-back Ks, 2 down here in the 9th. So Lucas gave up a couple of runs in the 8th inning. Has 2 outs here in the 9th.
I noticed earlier in the game, Cha-Cha, you had to go to the cheaters.
What are you talking about?
Well, he broke out the Ben Franklins.
Jabari Blash pinch hitting in the pitcher spot with 2 down. This is softly ground to first base and flip to first. Lucas is there.
You're lucky.
And it's a 1-2-3 9th inning. 12-4 Padres.
by finishing this one out.
You know, Colton Wong coming up here for the Cardinals to get it started. Wong tonight has singled and struck out twice. In regards to your cheaters comment,
yeah,
the notes here for the Cardinals are the smallest font I've ever seen. Would you agree?
I agree.
I mean, it is by far the smallest.
I mean, I can read them without my glasses.
Yeah.
But you had to break out the old cheaters. And
I did.
was like, oh my gosh.
And there's a swing and a miss. He went around.
So you broke out the cheaters.
So I broke out the cheaters because, as you can see, this is the smallest print ever.
Look at that.
In Major League Baseball.
We got to quantify this and show.
So
see,
like ours is that, and theirs is that. So
yeah.
I'm Ben Franklin tonight, as pointed out by my partner. It's by Ben Franklin's. The 0-2 is down low, 1-2. It's not a good look. I need better glasses.
I think those are fine.
They're very small.
That's the first time I think this year you've broken them out.
I haven't had them all year. Haven't needed them all year. These notes are. It's even tough with the glasses. Swing and a miss, and Colton Wong strikes out, first out of the ninth. First strikeout of the year for Carter Capps.
Goes up the ladder with the fastball. Throws across his body. Very deceptive.
One down here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Greg Garcia getting his second at bat since coming into the game. Struck out swinging in the seventh inning. On the ground to shortstop. Coleman will play the high hop. A good throw. Two down in the ninth inning. Top of the order. With two away in the inning, and Martinez coming up for the first time. Took over at first base for Matt Carpenter, who had been 0 for 3 with a walk. Jose Martinez at 287, 10 homers, and 28 runs batted in. That's with 2 outs in the ninth inning, and the Padres on top here 12-4. In there for strike one from Capps. $38,767 were here tonight. A handful left. They took off after the seventh inning, pretty much, when the Padres scored 6 times in the top half of the inning, and the Cardinals did not score in the bottom of the seventh. And the bulk of the 38,000 took off. Capps with a strikeout and a ground out to start the bottom of the ninth inning. Falling behind here 2-1 to Martinez. Chop to third. Solarte goes up to get it. The throw is in time, and the ball game is over. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Carter Capps as the Padres win the first game of the series 12-4. Huge night for Yangervis Solarte as the Padres take the game 12-4. It's time for Padres Live as we check in with Mike Pomeranz.
Buenas